Okay, and last subtopic for this. No, penultimate subtopic for this chapter. It looks like there's one small subtopic after this. Is gains from trade. Our objective for this subtopic is to show you that with trade, we can magically achieve unattainable points. Okay? So this is what I'm going to try to explain. Perhaps it is going to take quite a while, maybe half an hour or so. Topic gains from trade. But before I can explain that, I need to introduce a couple of other concepts. Okay? One is absolute advantage. Okay, absolute advantage. Being able to produce more of particular good or service. Okay, so if you can't read on the board, I try to read it out. Absolute advantage is simply being able to produce more. Okay. So if we look at production of, I don't know, corn, right? Maybe there is some corn production in Taiwan, I'm not really sure, but let's assume there is. I guess US has an absolute advantage in producing corn. They can produce more, and they do, okay? But there is another kind of advantage as well. That is comparative advantage. Okay, comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is being able to produce at lower cost. Okay? Being able to produce at lower cost. Being able to produce at lower opportunity cost. Being able to produce at lower opportunity cost or marginal cost. Okay? So, let's have a look at two countries, big and small. Right? Let's say there are only two things to produce. Simple example, cartoon world. So just make things very simple. Something to eat, and maybe, I don't know, something to drink, right? So pizzas and smoothies, right? Or salads and smoothies. I think I have an example for salads and smoothies in the lecture notes. So let's say we have two producers, small producer and big producer. Big producer can produce more salads than the small one and produce more smoothies than the small one. Looks like, from the first glance, there is no opportunity and there is no benefit for them to consider trading, because the big one has more of both and has the ability to produce more of both. Okay? But it's only at the first glance. Okay? In reality, the cool thing about comparative advantage is even small countries or small businessmen, right, can still trade with larger businesses or larger countries at a mutual advantage. It's not only advantageous to the small country to trade. Let's have a look at the particular numbers. Hopefully that will explain things better. So let's say we have Liz and Joe. And let's say they make smoothies and salads. Okay? And let's say this is time to make a salad and time to make a smoothie. 2 and 2. 10 and 2. Okay? So, Liz is just as good as Joe in making a salad. And she's better than him in making smoothies, right? So it looks like Joe has no chance. He's either have to try to survive by himself as hard as he can. Yes?
Joe is better than Liz at making smoothies.
I'm sorry. This is time to make.
Oh, okay.
Let's say it takes 2 minutes for Liz to make either, and let's say for Joe it takes 10 minutes to make a smoothie, or takes 2 minutes to make a salad, right? So it looks like Joe is basically an outcast, right? But the thing is, when we're trying to look at the benefits of trade, instead of looking at absolute advantage, here, Liz has absolute advantage in making smoothies. She can make more, right? In a given, let's say, hour, right? And neither of them have an absolute advantage in making salads. They're equally good, right? They can produce the same amount, let's say, per hour or per day or whatever. Right? So Joe has no absolute advantage in producing anything, right? So unlike, despite that first glance, you'll notice that there are benefits from trade for both of them, and they're going to reach over here magically, okay? For that, instead of looking at absolute advantage, we should actually look at comparative advantage, okay? And, okay, let's have another table. Production possibilities frontier, let's say per hour. If it takes 2 minutes to make a smoothie or a salad, Liz can make 30 per hour, right? And Joe can make 6 smoothies per hour and 30 salads per hour, right? So this is basically how much they can produce. This is how much time it takes, right? And let's have a look at opportunity costs. Opportunity cost. Okay, we don't have any dollars here, so we have to derive opportunity cost of doing one in terms of the other, because if you make a salad, you lose the chance, you lose the opportunity to make a smoothie, and vice versa, right? Okay, so for Liz, if she spends the time to make a salad, this is smoothie. If she spends the time to make a smoothie, in that time, in the 2 minutes, how many salads she can make? 1, right? So the opportunity cost of a smoothie is 1 salad, right? Okay. If she spends the time to make a salad, in that 2 minutes, how many smoothies could she make? 1. So this is also 1 here. Remember we said that opportunity cost is the inverse, right? So 1 can be written as 1 over 1, and the inverse of that is 1 over 1. So that's 1. No, this will be inverse always, right? So for Joe, if he spends the time to make 10 smoothies, how many salads does he lose the opportunity to make? 5, right? Because he will take 10 minutes to make a salad smoothie, in that time he could have made instead 5 salads, right? This is fine. These are inverse, right? So what would be here? 1/5. And also the logic is, if he spends the time to make a salad 2 minutes, in that time he could only have completed 1/5 of a salad, 1/5 of a smoothie, right? So there it is, right? Okay. Now let's see who's got comparative advantage. In smoothies, Lisa has got a comparative advantage because her opportunity cost is lower than his. This is Joe, right? And in salads, Joe has comparative advantage. Maybe I should put the tick marks here and here. In salads, Joe has comparative advantage. How cool is that? There is some opportunity for him to engage in trade with her, even though he seems to be an outcast at the first glance.
Is 1/5 of a salad better than 1 salad?
No, this is the cost.
Oh,
This is opportunity
cost
cost.
1/5. Okay.
Right? So for him, making salads is cheaper, right? In terms of smoothies. Because, yeah, she can make smoothies, she can make salads just as fast as him, but in that time, she could instead do something very valuable. For him, it takes ages to make a smoothie, right? That's where they should trade. So, how are we going to show that? Let's have Liz here. Let's have Joe here. And see how much they would choose to produce. Okay, let's have them on a separate line. Let's say we have smoothies here. Let's say we have salads here. Okay. So Liz, Joe. So for Liz, that would be equal quantities, right? So if it's per hour, it will be 30. If it's per day, times 8, maybe it's an 8-hour day, right? So let's say per hour. So that's hourly. Just make it simple. So that's 30 for Liz, right? For Joe, hourly BPF is 6.30, right? I'm sorry, smoothies is 6. Maximum number of smoothies he can make is 6. This is salads, because it's confusing, both are S. So this is 30, right? Now, which option to choose on the PPF? Of course, they want to be productively efficient, but it's also important to choose an allocatively efficient point. We've just talked about that, right? And in this case, let's assume they're not eating their smoothie and salads on their own. Let's say they're businessmen. So the benefit for them is not what they want. The benefit is what the customers want, okay? So we need to introduce marginal benefit, right? Because we can't derive it from here. So let's just make it simple. For example, let's say the customers always, let's say, for example, eat smoothies and salads in equal quantities, okay? There isn't any customer who eats 3 salads with 1 smoothie. All of them only eat in equal quantities, for example, right? Okay. So if they choose to produce unequal quantities, if she, for example, produces 10 salads and 20 smoothies, she can, because that's in total 30, right? Then she will not be able to sell 10 smoothies, right? Or if she chooses, let's choose other numbers because a lot of coincidental 10s over there. So if she chooses to produce 8 smoothies, she will have enough time left to produce 22 salads, right? But if the customers only buy equal quantities, she has 8 smoothies, customers will only buy 8 salads. The rest of the customers who want both drink and food, not one, they will leave, go to another place. So she will not be able to sell 22 minus 8. The rest of the, whatever that was, I forgot.
22.
Right? 22 minus 8 is 12? No, it's 14. Yeah, both no good. 22 minus 8, right? Because she makes 8 and
20 minus 8.
22. If she makes if she makes 8 smoothies, right? And in total, she has 1 hour, 60 minutes, right? 8 times 2 is going to take her whatever time. She has enough time to make another 22 salads, right? So if she customers are coming, they're buying equal quantities. 22 minus 8 will be 14 salads are unsold, right? They'll go bad. She wouldn't want it. So she has to choose equal quantities. So without trading, she will choose 15-15, right? That's the only quantity that's the only choice for her when she can sell out everything, right? Now what about him? Well, let's try. There is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Yes? Right. The actual answer, because I already remember the answer, is going to be 5, right? Because if he spends the time to make 5 smoothies, that will take 50 minutes, right? There will be 10 minutes remaining, right? In an hour. 10 minutes is just enough to make 5 salads, right? That will be 5 and 5. If he chooses anything else, let's say, for example, 4 smoothies, right? That will take 40 minutes, right? 20 minutes remaining, right? In that time, he can make 10 salads, right? So 4 corresponds to 10, but then he will not be able to sell 6 salads because customers buy in equal quantities. So, got a sore throat already. I can't shout. You guys will have to try to hear me. I don't know. Without trade, yes, she will be over here at point A, 15-15. He will be over here at point A, 5-5. That's without trade, yes. Now, let's see how they can both magically move to an unattainable point by trading. That is gains from trade, okay? For that, we need to introduce something else called specialization. Specialization. Producing only the good, only the good or service, right? With comparative advantage. So Liz has comparative advantage in smoothies, Joe has comparative advantage in salads, right? Let's say Liz spends all her day only making smoothies. How many will she be able to make? 30, right? So in a different scenario where they're trading, Liz will have at the beginning 30 smoothies. Joe, if he spends all his time making only salads, he will be able to make 30, right? He will have 30 salads. Okay? Already, even before the exchange, we see that it's more, right? It's 30 and 30, whereas here, 15, 15, and 5, 5 is 20 and 20, right? Now let's introduce an exchange rate, then they will bargain, right? They'll bargain, right? And of course, the rate at which they exchange will depend on their bargaining skills, right? But notice that exchange rate will be anywhere between okay, let me be more clear. So then they will exchange, and the exchange rate of smoothies for salads is going to be between 1 salad per smoothie up to 5 salads per smoothie. There'll be no point for him to exchange 6 salads for 1 smoothie. He will not give her 6 salads for 1 smoothie, however good are her negotiation and bargaining skills. Because instead of giving 6 salads for her smoothie, he could have made his own salad at the cost of 5. Oh, he could have made his own smoothie at the cost of 5, right? And for her as well, she will never give up a smoothie for him at a price lower than 1 for 1 with a salad. She will never give him 2 smoothies for a salad, even though she needs those salads. She doesn't have any, because instead she could have produced her own salad at the cost of 1 smoothie. So these are the strict boundaries for their negotiation, right? And the exchange rate will be anywhere between, whatever is the rate, depends on their negotiation skills. Let's say, for example, 2. For example, 2, right? So let's say the exchange rate is 2 salads per smoothie. It's beneficial for her, right? Because instead of getting 1 salad for smoothie, she can get 2. And it's beneficial for him, because instead of getting 1 smoothie for 5 salads, he can get 1 smoothie for 2 salads. So they keep exchanging, keep exchanging until they have equal quantities of both, because that's what the customers want, right? So if they exchange only 1 smoothie for 2 salads, they will end up with a situation when Liz has 29 smoothies and 2 salads. It's no good, because the customers will want to have equal quantities, and he will have 1 smoothie and 28 salads, right? Also no good. So they keep exchanging like this. Go further, go further, go further, right? So let's have smoothies here. Let's have salads here, right? If they exchange 2 smoothies for 4 salads, you can have a look at the numbers, and there'll be 28, 4. And this will be 2, 26. Still no good. They will keep going. You can double check that until Liz has 20 of each, right? It means she gave up 10 smoothies for 20 salads. And Joe will have 10 of each, right? Because he gave up 20 salads. He originally had 30, so he gave up 20 salads for 10 smoothies, right? It's good for him because it's equal quantities. The customers will buy that. Good for her, equal quantities. And previously, these points were not attainable for either of them. You see, 10 for him is unattainable. Much better than point A, where he was before. And for her, 20 over here, unattainable, much better than where she was before, right? So let me put it on a bigger chart so things are kind of clear and really cool. You can show the exchange rate on the chart. Okay, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Yeah. Maybe some of them are a bit too narrow. Okay, the chart is not that big. Okay, not great, but okay. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, that's 30, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 20. Okay, so originally, Liz is 30, 30. That's Liz, right? Joe originally is, so let's say this is salads. This is smoothies. Joe originally is 36, so this point and this point. Yeah, this is Joe previously, right? By specialization, they only produce one or the other. So instead of being at 5 and 5, that's where Joe used to be, right? Right? Instead of being there, he's going to specialize in something where he has comparative advantage. That's making salads. He's going to spend all his time making salads. That means 30 salads and no smoothies, right? He's going to move from point A all the way over here. I'll call it point S for specialization. And she will spend all her time making the thing where she has comparative advantage, that's smoothies. So instead of point A, where she used to be, she used to have 15, 15, right? She used to be over here. Because it's one person, it's a straight line like that, right? Sorry, I didn't introduce the bow. So anyway, 15, 15, right? She used to be here instead of that. That's her original point A. She's going to spend all her time specializing, I'm going to call it S, right? To produce only smoothies, right? So originally they're over here, right? But they're going to exchange. We can also introduce the exchange rate on the chart at the slope of 2, right? Because it's 2 salads for a smoothie, okay? So at the slope of 2, right, is going to go like this, right? So it will connect to 60 over here, right? I'm sorry, 2 salads for 1 smoothie. This slope is 1/2. Because remember, in mathematics, the slope is rise over run, right? In high school, right? Small over big is only 1/2. I made a mistake. This slope is 1/2. Right? The slope of 2 is over here. 2 salads for only 1 smoothie. I'm not to scale. Joe's thing is too fat. Joe's PPF is also a straight line, right? So it should be something like this. Let's put it red. This is Joe's PPF, right? Straight line. At a slope of 5. This is slope of 5. 1, 5 for 1, 5 for 1, 5 for 1. And he can instead exchange at the slope of 2. For him, it's really, really cool, really good. Slope of 2 would bring me 30 to 15. 30 over 15 is the slope of 2, right? Yes. So he can get to this point, 10, 10. That's Joe's point that he can reach after trading. So I'll just call it JT. Higher than where he was before. He was over here at point 8. Right? And her exchange rate, originally her exchange rate is 1 for 1 if she's just trading with herself. Because he can choose what she can make. But with the exchange of the slope of 2, this 30 would connect to 60. Mathematically, the slope is rise over run, right? So this is how the exchange rate looks like for her from her original specialization trade. And then she can choose a point on this so that the coordinates are equal. It will be 2020. That's, was it Mary? Oh no, Liz's point after trading. Right? So she will choose 2020, and he's going to choose 1010. Both unattainable. So it's kind of holy moly with trade, even though it looks like Joe is no one. He's no good compared to Liz in making smoothies, and they're just equally good at making salads. But despite that, what's important is comparative advantage. So even in the situations like this, it makes sense to cooperate, right? It makes sense to cooperate. You can both be better off, and we can illustrate it. They're both achieving previously unattainable points. I think it's really cool. It's like, wow, it's like magic, and also promotes cooperation among people, right? So I think it's really a kind of interesting idea, and also I think it's a very positive kind of message here. With math, how cool is that? With illustration of that positive idea, right? So I think it's really pretty cool. Okay. So the main kind of gist, if you missed most of what happened over the last half an hour, right? The main gist is they can still exchange even though he seems to be a nobody compared to her, because it's very expensive for her to make salads. She'd better make smoothies, even though she can make more salads than he can, right? Even though she's really fast at doing everything. Salads are just kind of more expensive for her, right? And for him, salads are cheap. Just do what you can cheaply, right? So even if, let's say, for example, this is 3 over here, she can make more salad. Oh no. Let's say this is, for example, 1.5 minutes for a salad, right? Then per hour she will be able to make, is it 45 salads? Or 60 divided by 1.5 is 40. 40 salads, right? Still, opportunity cost of a salad for her is going to be, this is going to be like 3 seconds, and this is 2/3, right? They can still be, they will still be able to exchange, right? So even if she's better at everything, not equal at something and better at something else, even if she's better at everything, how cool is that? There is a positive message here for the small guy. You can still exchange in a mutually beneficial way, right? So there is a big subtopic in economics, gains from trade. That's all for, there is a whole course called international trade, right? It goes into more details of all of this. Okay. And I guess we don't have time for another really tiny subtopic. Maybe it's not really extremely important. It's about that invisible hand. Remember I told you before how markets allocate resources smartly, even though I don't know anybody in McDonald's to make sure there will be enough food for us, right? They have an incentive to make enough. Anyway, I guess we just skip that. Questions? Thank you, bye-bye.